Timeline. So we're going to talk about a timeline today, but I don't want you to feel like it's a step one, two, three. It's just purely about the timeline where a pageant contestant comes on. Maybe it's a state level, a national level, or an international level. But I want to talk about the different stages so you know what you need to develop now, where you're at, what stage, and what you need to work on moving forward. So the four stages are launch, impact, partner, and media. So let's talk about the launch. So that is where you're probably at a local pageant and you're focusing on your legacy project. Now, you might be really passionate about fitness, for example, and you want to create a video series. So you want to maybe create a video on how to get people more active. I heard about an experience with a pageant queen in the past, and she saw the difference between people who want to get healthy and people who actually do get healthy and do the things in order to get their goal. So she put together a very quick video series, which didn't cost her anything. It just took her time. And then she was able to build this video series for her local pageant. And all it took was time and focus to get the thing done. Then in the next pageant she went to, she then was able to build upon that. So that is where we focus on legacy projects. So if this is your first pageant, I would highly recommend to start at your legacy project, find the things that you're passionate about. For me, I was very passionate about children living in poverty and what my skills are, mindset. So what I did was I created a book around the knowledge that I already had in my mind. I put all of my mindset stories into this book, and then I launched it to teenagers. So there you can see right there, my legacy project was built around the things I absolutely loved and adored. And the goal about the launching your legacy project is it has to be something that fuels your passion, that fuels your drive, that feeds your soul. It has to be something that really does light you up from the inside out. Okay, so the next level is impact. So this could be at a state level. And now it's where we start looking at viewers. Like maybe you've started a podcast. And so now you can literally track where you're at. And that way, when you're tracking what you're doing, for example, it could be a podcast, it could be a YouTube, it could be your following, you can then share that information with your judges. So at a impact level, at a state pageant level, you start tracking what you're doing so that then you can share the impact, the value that you're giving to your area, your community, and therefore it can really help you win the title. Okay, so now we're talking about partners. So now we're at a national level, and now we need to look for a business or a company that shares your same core value and your same core mission. So for myself, it could be someone who also is passionate about children and want to impact them in their area. So now we're going to talk about partnering up. So you're now at a national level, and you've done the legacy project, you've tracked all of your process, and now we're at a stage where we're at nationals. So we need to partner up with a company or a brand that is in alignment with your true core purpose and your mission and your platform. So you both have the same values. So now we're talking about not attaching yourself to a company and being the spokesperson for their non-for-profit. Now we're talking about you as a leader sharing your voice and finding another company that is on that same journey. So together you can create a win-win. So you're going to go into your journey, but they're also on the same journey. So they'll be sharing what you're doing. And in exchange, you can then share what they're doing. So it's a really great fit to partner up with someone who has your same core values, your same purpose, your same drive in life. The mission is the same. So you now partner up with them to create a win-win. So right here, that is the difference between someone who just grabs a platform and partners up with a non-for-profit, as opposed to someone actually working on a legacy project, finding their true core purpose, and then partnering up with a company that has the same alignment with you. So I urge you to write down, and we'll go through this in further detail in in further videos, but I urge you to write down what you're passionate about, what you're really here to do, what really lights you up. For me, it's children. I just love children. And there's a problem in the world. We have massive poverty. So everything for me was centered around that. And then I went out and partnered with another company that had the same core mission. So therefore, you're both free to go on your journeys. But when you create a win-win, you're more powerful together. So this is how you stand out from any other queen. They're all doing the same thing. You really want to do something that's different, something that's powerful, something that comes straight from the heart. This is how you stand out. This is how you stand out and elevate to the next level. You're now becoming an influencer. You're a leader, and you bring something unique to the table. You bring more value than the other people who are all doing the same thing. So I want you to start thinking big. Don't be afraid. It's your time to shine, my friends. Being an influencer is how can you influence your community, not just by having all these viewers and whatnot. Like, how can you truly impact your community and make a difference? Now you become valuable because you're now bringing influence to the marketplace, and a lot of companies will now be looking at what you're doing, and you now get people opening doors to you. So it's very, very valuable to think big. When you're an influencer, you bring value to the table, and then you are very, very wanted from a lot of different angles. So start off at your legacy project, and everything else will be branched out in time. Everything will fall into place. So just focus on your legacy project to begin with, and then all the different branches will come at the different stages, and everything will be falling into place, but it has to be done in the order. So on the next video, we will be talking about how to kind of overcome your nerves and find your true inner confidence so that you can put all of the nerves aside and you can focus on building your actual confidence from within. Power comes from within, not the external world. Your power is internal. So we're going to talk about that on the next video. See you there.